the way you have described it, I think is an accurate description of what is happening. I think China's slowdown is not to be taken as a slowdown. They are trying to make sure that they don't fly too high. They want to keep it at a level which is sustainable, and that's what they're achieving. And it is a planned thing. China doesn't do things on the spur of the moment. They are not just react. They plan things very well. Even when they, at the moment, for instance, they are in Italy buying up brands. Italian economy is going through a very difficult period. Companies don't have money. They have the brands, well-known brands. Pirelli, the tire, just been bought by China. So they're looking at other things, right through the world. They go for iconic property, iconic names, and they acquire it. And they have the wealth to do it. The rest of Asia, maybe with the exception of Singapore, Singapore has also a history of planning well ahead, vision. They have a vision and they try to achieve it. They look at every aspect of what makes it, what will bring about their success. And therefore they are. But in many other countries, even in our neighborhood, they are bogged down by various political problems. I said earlier that ASEAN is not as solid as it once looked because member countries have problems. You look at Malaysia, they have some problems. Thailand with the junta. Today there's some news item saying that the leader of the coup says, I have the right to shoot reporters, which is not a bad thing, but, but that's the sort of situation. And so politics is getting involved, and it is also not allowing the countries to focus on growth. So economies will suffer. Except for a few countries. India is, after the election, there's a great deal of expectations. India will change, and you have a leader who has got also a vision. He knows what he wants. But Indian politics have to be taken into account. This often talked about that we are a democracy and therefore things can't be done. Not quite an accurate way of saying it, because democracy doesn't mean that you can't be disciplined, you can't do things, Democracy actually means being able to take decisions with a certain degree of consensus. And that should not be a problem for a popularly elected government. And therefore, I feel India will probably do well under the present government. And I hope it does, because a success story is what Asia is looking for. China is one, but it cannot be one sparrow in the spring sort of thing. Spring has to have many types of birds and flowers and sort of thing, and that's still lacking. I'm hopeful that things will change slowly. American economy is doing well, and that will help. I'm hopeful that India will also measure up and be able to contribute to the growth.
So if you were to look ahead in terms of either new regional opportunities, collaboration or otherwise that could open up, what's your sense? I mean, what's the task ahead if we are talking about greater integration in the region?
Integration is something that's going to be difficult when some of the parties are preoccupied with many of their domestic issues. But what if I was doing something for India, I would look at individual countries. Take, for instance, Indonesia. Indonesia has just had an election, elected a very sensible civilian. I mean, Indonesia has not had a civilian president for some time. The civilian, with the backup of the people. Jokowi has been given a full mandate. A few days ago, there was a news item that the main opposition, Golkar, which is an army party, is going to back him. This is very good because that adds to stability. And Indonesia has got immense resources. If they could harness it, I think they will do very well. What it lacks is probably the depth of talent that India has. India has an undoubted depth of talent. Not many other Asian countries. China has got, Japan has got, but not Korea has got, but not many others. Indonesia may not be able to do that, but they should get help from World Bank and Asian Development Bank and all these sort of things to be able to do what they want to do. But there are pockets, what I'm saying is there are pockets of growth possibilities, and they must link together. You know, like India, the foreign policy of the government seems to be a very sensible one. As far as I can notice, Prime Minister Modi goes in concentric circles. The first one, SAARC, second one, Ocean, and third one may be ASEAN, and then East Asia. You know, so each one he expands, and that's a very good approach. A very good approach, and I think he will succeed, because I think he goes to each place with a certain thing in mind, and he is able to do it. Yeah.
Last question. I mean, you've been involved in the logistics
yes.
business. So, what's your sense? I mean, are you seeing things improving? Do you see more movement of goods
in Singapore or in India?
In India and in, I mean, how are you seeing this whole region pan out? I mean, China setting up more ports, sort of transshipment, and does India still have a chance with?
India definitely has a chance. I've invested in logistics in India. We have done very well. I've looked at my numbers in India and compared it with Singapore, Malaysia, and China. Indian numbers are far better. There are a lot of frustration.
A lot of people would be pleased to hear that.
Yeah, there are a lot of frustrations, a lot of challenges. But if you have the stamina, you have the patience, you will succeed. India has this thing.
Can you illustrate that a little when you say numbers are looking better?
We are in two areas. One is port-related logistics, movement of containers, storage of products, stuffing, destuffing, and then shipping it out. That's one. That's our main company. Then we have another one, which is in cold chain. That's a subsidiary of the first one, also a public company. That one was started by Mitsubishi, but they had some problems and they invited us to be a shareholder. We became the major shareholder. We brought in IFC, and now it's listed. It's doing quite well. We are the largest by far, not because it's a large company. It's a very small company by international standards, but it is in an area which has tremendous growth possibilities, because the wastage in the agricultural sector is something that we need to address. I personally feel a little scared to deal with farmers because it becomes political. So I'm looking at models where I can deal through government agencies rather than directly with the farmers. But they need to be looked after, because at the farm gate you need to have facilities to accept products and store them. It doesn't exist at the moment. So India has got tremendous, because it's still at a very nascent stage and needs to grow.
Right.
If you look at China, they have grown, and their port development has been spectacular. You look at countries like Singapore, Malaysia, the ASEAN countries, logistics is fairly developed. Their challenge is control of costs, and that is escalating, and sometimes productivity does not keep up.
So is that what you're saying? When you say India is now comparable or actually doing better in your universe, do you mean the cost to output ratio?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. That's what I look at, the bottom line. As an investor, what do I want to see? I want to see whether it's profitable, and is it profitable compared to others, similar operations elsewhere. And I found that India is profitable, can be profitable. After we run a very operation which is very transparent, and we have been commented on for our good corporate governance. So there's no murkiness about our numbers. And I look at the same with others in the Asian region. I feel that we are doing better than them. Yeah.
Right. So are you going to, last question, do you see yourself investing more in the logistics
No.
space at all?
Well, my company would.
Yeah.
But, I'm not as young as you, Govind. So I'm going to step down from this company very soon because I've been chairman for 20 years. It is one of the few companies that came from Singapore without any support from Singapore, any of the multinationals or government-linked companies. We got a group of Singaporean shareholders, and we came to India, got an Indian partner, and we started it. And we made it happen, So I'm personally very proud of what we have achieved because we never had a big gun behind us to keep us safe and so on. Every decision we took ourselves, and it has grown. So now it's time. My Indian partner takes over as chairman. I move away. But I will continue for a short while, about a year or so, as chairman of the logistics, the cold chain logistics, because there's a new company that has got two very prominent shareholders, one Mitsubishi, the other one IFC. They feel more comfortable with me around, so I stay on for a little while.
Right, and there's power to you and more investors like you in the logistics space.
Yes, they will come because once they see, when we first started the CFS, there was hardly any competition. Then once we published our prospectus, Christ, there are so many people interested. Similarly, cold chain will also boom. Yeah, it has to. The country is so big, it has to happen.
Mr. Pillai, thank you so much for speaking with us.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.